Exploring the shared benefits of Kapugan mining for indigenous and non-indigenous communities in the surrounding areas. Rationally, the purpose of this study is to investigate how Kapugan mining benefits the local indigenous and non-indigenous communities. The study will concentrate on shared advantage like increased local economies, better infrastructure, and job creation. It aims to comprehend how these benefits support sustainable development and exclusive growth for every member of the community. The study will also highlight Kapugan mining's initiatives that meet the community's social, economic, and environmental needs. The study will shed light on how mining can benefit a variety of local population by examining this shared advantage. Research objectives: to identify and analyze the economic, social, and infrastructural benefits provided by Kapugan mining to both indigenous and non-indigenous communities. To evaluate the effectiveness of Kapugan mining community programs in promoting sustainable development and inclusive growth across diverse population. To assess the perceptions of indigenous and non-indigenous communities regarding the impact of mining activities on their livelihoods, well-being, and overall quality of life. Introduction: the Pantukan local economy depends heavily on Kapugan mining, which supports the livelihood of both indigenous peoples and non-indigenous communities. Mining operation can benefit a wide range of stakeholders by creating jobs, developing infrastructure, and investing in the community as the demand for mineral rises. However, there are many cultural, social, and economic variables that play a role in the complicated relationship that exists between mining companies and the local communities. The relationship between mining and indigenous people has always been complex. At the most basic level, this stems from the conflicting relationship that miners and indigenous people have to the land and resources that are the focus of extractive activities, or what Marx would call the different relations to the means of production, where miners see ore bodies and development opportunities that render landscape productive, civilized, and familiar. Local indigenous communities see places of ancestral connection and subsistence provision. This simple binary is frequently reinforced and somewhat overdrawn in the popular characterization of the relationship between indigenous people and mining communities, where untrammeled capital devastated hapless tribal people, or what has been aptly described as the Avatar narrative after the 2009 film of the same name. Particularly, indigenous groups have distinct viewpoints on resource management and land use, which influence how they react with mining operation. It is essential to comprehend how Kapugan mining can promote inclusive growth and guarantee that the advantage of mining are shared fairly by IPs and non-IPs. In addition to addressing potential issues and conflicts, this study attempts to investigate the numerous advantages that Kapugan mining offers to both indigenous and non-indigenous residents, including the creation of jobs, chances for education, access to healthcare, and improvements to infrastructure. Technical terms. First, community development examines how Kapugan mining contribute to improvements in infrastructure, social services, and overall living standard in both indigenous and non-indigenous communities. The study looks at how mining operations foster growth and enhance the quality of life for this population. 2. Resource management focuses on the sustainable use of natural resources by Kapugan mining, ensuring that the mining activities are conducted responsibly without completing the environment. This is crucial for the long-term viability of natural resources which many indigenous communities rely on. Number 3. Social impact assessment is a tool used to evaluate the social effects of mining activities on local population. The study applies SIA SIA to measure how mining influences employment, social dynamics, and cultural interaction in the surrounding communities, providing a balanced view of both benefits and challenges. Number 4, benefit sharing relates to how the economic and social advantages of mining are distributed between indigenous and non-indigenous communities. The research explored whether Kafogan mining promotes equitable access to opportunities such as job, economic growth, and communities program. Lastly, 5. Cultural preservation addresses the need to protect indigenous cultural heritage in the face of industrial activities. The study assessed whether Kafogan mining's operation respect and support the cultural tradition and values of indigenous groups while also benefiting them economically. Statement of the problem. This research aims to investigate the mutual advantages of Kafogan mining for local indigenous and non-indigenous population. Comprehending the workings of these advantages is crucial to promoting fair development and communal harmony. The specific question this study seeks to answer are as follows. What are the primary benefits that Kafogan mining provides to indigenous and non-indigenous communities? How do these benefits differ between indigenous and non-indigenous community members? What are the potential challenges and conflicts arising from the relationship between Kafogan mining and local communities? Review of related literature. The aim of literature review conducted for this study was to gather an explanatory range of publications that address the mutual advantage of mining for communities that are indigenous and non-indigenous. The goal was to find important studies that examine power dynamics and benefit distribution between mining operation and local communities, with an emphasis on both the economic and social impacts. Academic databases such as Scopus and Google Scholar, along with popular search engines, were used to search for the shared benefits mining communities. This review aims to draw attention to recurring themes rather than conducting an exhaustive analysis of all the literature that is currently available on the topic. Knowledge of biological diversity is a major source of innovation. Since time immemorial, humans have developed biological knowledge on plants and animals, thereby providing substantial benefits to societies. Coupled with important technological advancements, Sherco and Greeley, 2015, the recent evolution of intellectual property rights has enabled globalized minimum standards of IPRs and biological resources and knowledge. These IPRs have generated important to private valued corporation, particularly for pharmaceuticals, Kyle and McGahan, 2012, and plant varieties, Campi and Nuvolari, 2015. These innovations have contributed positively to society by providing public value with sustainable innovation for improving human health and food security. Among the other benefits, Ribeiro and Shapira, 2020. Access the benefit sharing. ABS agreements aim to protect countries or regions to which biological resources belong, as well as traditional knowledge developed by indigenous people and local communities. IPLCS on genetic resources, Laird et al., 2020, Weinberg, 2017. While ABS agreements are not IPRs but contracts negotiated between users and providers, they have important implications for the economics of innovation since they contribute to recognizing the collective intellectual property of IPLCS on biological knowledge. Another common way of protecting collective intellectual property of traditional knowledge consists of the establishment of geographical indication that protect products produced in specific geographical location and according to traditional methods and knowledge. While there is important literature about the establishment of ABS agreements and GIS, Drahos and Frankel, 2012, Giuliani in 2001, Robinson, 2014, An increasing body of research investigates how power dynamics at local level impact these collective intellectual property systems. Conceptual framework. The conceptual framework makes the assumption that the shared benefits of mining will improve the social and economic well-being of both indigenous and non-indigenous communities, provided that appropriate cooperation and responsible practices are followed. This framework will guide the investigation of how mining operations affect the community and how sustainable practices can ensure long-term positive impacts. Methodology. This study involved conducting surveys and interviews with members of both indigenous and non-indigenous communities surrounding Kafugan mining. This approach will enable the researchers to collect data on the perceived shared benefit of mining in these communities. Additionally, the researcher will review government documents and reports as well as community records to assess the economic, social, and environmental impact of mining activities. By combining quantitative survey data with qualitative insights from interviews, the study aims to provide a comprehensive understanding of how Kafugan mining affects both indigenous and non-indigenous population, highlighting shared benefits and areas for improvement. Research participants. The participants chosen for this study are individuals who have resided in the community surrounding Kafugan mining for at least 10 years. The researcher aimed to gather insights from long-term residents as their experiences will provide valuable perspective on the impacts and shared benefits of mining activities over an extended period. This criterion ensures that the participants have comprehensive understanding of the economic, social, and environmental changes brought about by mining in their communities. Data analysis. The following statistical tools will be employed to analyze the data collected in this study and determine the factors influencing perception of the shared benefits of Kafugan mining among indigenous and non-indigenous communities. First, frequency count and percent. This analysis will be crucial for understanding how many respondents from both communities mentioned each specific positive impact of mining. By calculating percentage, the researchers can identify which benefits are most frequently reported by residents, highlighting the aspects of mining that are most valued across both indigenous and non-indigenous groups. Second, weighted mean and standard deviation. This method will help quantify the level of benefits associated with various positive impacts of mining. The weighted mean will be calculated to give more importance to responses that were mentioned more frequently. The standard deviation will be analyzed to assess variability in responses, indicating whether there is a consensus among respondents on the level of the benefit or if opinions vary widely between the two communities. Mean Whitney test. This non-parametric test is suitable for comparing perceived benefits between the two distinct groups within the community. The researcher will compare the perception of indigenous respondents to those of non-indigenous respondents. The Mann-Whitney test will help determine if there are statistically significant differences in how these groups view the positive impacts of mining, providing insights into potential disparities in benefits experience. Flowchart. Research topic, objective, methodology, data analysis, expected outcomes, conclusion. So, lastly, conclusion, the study on exploring the shared benefits of Kafugan mining for indigenous and non-indigenous communities in the surrounding areas concludes that Kafugan mining can significantly benefit local communities through improved infrastructure, economic opportunities, and enhanced social services. However, the equitable distribution of these benefits is crucial for ensuring inclusive growth and preventing disparities between indigenous and non-indigenous groups. Additionally, sustainable resource management and cultural preservation are essential for maintaining long-term positive outcomes overall, with a focus on respectful practices Kafogan mining has the potential to be model for how resources extraction can uplift diverse population and contribute to sustainable development. References. That's all. Thank you.